Alright, what's up everybody? Just real quick, I want to say this video is not a how-to, it's not a step-by-step, nothing. It's just a little overview showing about some of the things dealing with the sway bar, bushings, and the control, the end links. So I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a DIY expert. I just do a little tinkering here and there, and figured I'd make this video so there'd be at least one more specific vehicle specific video for the Jaguar S-Type. So we got here 2002 Jaguar S-Type, and I'm gonna be doing this work and actually selling this car because I've got another car. So but anyway, I want to talk about a little bit what I'm doing. Now I've got these control arm end links or sway bar end links, however you want to say them. These are made by Moog. I ended up accidentally getting 3 because I bought a used one on Amazon, which I'm assuming is mainly just an open box or something. And so when I bought it, you can see the little Amazon inspected. They actually sent 2 of them. But one has the nuts and the other one doesn't. So I bought one used and one brand new. So here's a brand new one. And of course it has the nuts in there. So basically they sent me a free one. I got both of these things for like $42. And locally, just one of them would cost like $46 at like AutoZone or something. So it's all good. So I got these, and then I'm gonna talk about, now I've already got my new sway bar bushings installed. I just wanted to spend a second to talk about these. Now I had a vibration in my car, so I jacked the car up, pulling and pushing on everything to try to figure out what the problem was. The first thing I changed out was actually the bushing, the lower bushing for my passenger side shock absorber. It was all messed up. It was easy to see that it was loose and needed to be replaced. So I got that replaced, put the car back together, and I still had noise and vibration. It's quite a bit of vibration actually. So I took the car back apart, and I noticed the first time when I was looking for stuff that my sway bar, if you grabbed it and wiggled it, it was kind of loose and it made a little noise. But when I was looking at the bushing, you know, it was inside of its collar, it looked all right. You know, it doesn't look to be, you know, all torn up and just busted apart like you see a lot of these YouTube videos. But the problem was this: if you look closely, you can see that indentation where there's where the rubber basically compacted. So when you think about it, you got these collars that's going over this, and it's the collars don't get any smaller, but essentially the rubber is starting to compact. And then inside of here as well, you can't really see it, but this hole ended up being bigger than the replacements. You know, it just kind of hollowed this out, kind of compacted it out a little bit, just pressed it outward, and it pressed here, and you know, you can even see some indentation there. And until I got the collar off and took it out and looked at it, I mean, you could not tell. It looked like a good bushing, other than the fact that you could wiggle the control arm, but I didn't know for sure, since I mean I'm a novice. I didn't know for sure if that was even normal or not. So but now that I got the new ones installed, there's no play at all, and I'm pretty confident I'm gonna have my problem fixed. So that's just one little tip. I mean, they can look good with the in the collar. It doesn't look to be frayed and torn up, but it still definitely was causing a problem. So I replaced both of them, and I also got these on Amazon as well. And some places I was finding, even online, I couldn't find these locally at all, not even to be ordered in. But even online, some of these was costing $40 a piece. So I ended up finding the part number. I also got these was Moog parts, and I got them for like $22 a piece. Or I think it was $20 a piece, whatever the case. I got them at a good price. They perfect fit, and I've got no play at this point. So I'm just going to be showing a little bit of the work that I've done so far, and then hopefully if you need to do this work to your Jaguar, to your S-Type, this video may help you. All right, I'm gonna show you guys where the sway bar bushings are located, and some challenges with locating the bolts on them. Got my trusty little creeper from Harbor Freight, 29 bucks. Probably won't be good for a real mechanic to use every day, but for me to use when I need it, it's okay. Alright, so alright, here's the first one. Let me try to get the light in place. Okay, here's the first bushing. Now this is on the passenger side. As you can see, this bolt is easy enough to get to. That's absolutely no problem. There's one behind it. I mean, as you can imagine, this collar is just like a half moon. And there's a bolt on this other side. It's a little bit trickier to get to, but you know, you just kind of get your socket wrench in there, and you can get it. You kind of have a short area to work with, but you can do it. So now for the other side, same thing. This one's easy enough, but then this other one is gonna be really tough to get to. What you can see right here, you can probably see some coolant too. The CCV, which is the climate control valve, it sits right on top of here. So the valve actually sits inside of a it sits on a bracket, and that bracket completely covers that bolt. So basically what you're gonna have to do, at least this is what I did, and I worked with it for hours trying to get another way, and I went online and people eventually said this is what they had to do. Unhook the CCV, you know, at least enough to kind of move it out of the way, and then go at that bolt from the top. So what I did at first was only move this one. I removed this one, I kind of pried it up, and I was able to slide the bushing out. But then when I slid the bushing back in and tried to, you know, push this back down, I used vice grips and everything. I just could not get the bolt lined up. As you can see, the nut is like welded to here, and there's really not much forgiveness. I mean, you have to have it lined up perfect, or you're just gonna basically be impossible to do. So what I ended up doing, I had to get to it from the other side so I could loosen them both, and that'd give me enough room to get the bolt lined up properly. So I'm gonna show you up top exactly how I did that. And to me, that's the main reason I'm making this video, because man, if I just could have found a way, probably would have saved me 4 hours working with this. Now, just so you know, I mean, I'm sure any real mechanics are never gonna watch this video. This is for the novice. This is your sway bar. It's this big bar that looks like this. I don't know how good it looks in this video, but here's the sway bar, and it's just one big bar, and it's thick like this, and it goes all the way through. You can't hardly see it, but it's back there. It comes all the way over, and control on the other side, and out to the other side. And that's a sway bar. And sometimes I've seen in other videos these things are all rusted out and stuff, and this is in perfect condition. It's just my bushings were bad. Now my bushings are perfect. Before, when I would wiggle this, you could hear like a clunk, 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 clunk. Now you don't hear anything. It's absolutely no play in it, and it's no sound. So I'm pretty confident when I get this all hooked back up, I would have fixed my my problem with the vibration. So, okay. So now we're on the passenger side. I'm gonna try to show you how I gained access to the other side of that bolt for that collar that goes over the bushing. Now, what I had to do, and it's really a pain in the butt just to get to a single bolt, and that's why I spent so long trying to avoid it, but in the end I just had to do it. But what I had to do, I took off my upper radiator hose so I can move that out the way. And now here, it's hard to see, but you can see those two circles. Though that is the CCV. The two circles is a solenoid apiece that's actually controlling the dual climate control. They're basically valves that open based on which side that you're trying to tell it to open inside the car. So here, as you can see, there's a little plug. I can't really get to it right now. Basically, the plug that looks just like these. Look just like these that plug in, and you basically pull that up and you wiggle it off. That's the electrical portion of the of that CCV. You can see the two circles, and then right in front of that you can see like a little socket. That's where the electrical plug was at. So I had to pull that out and eventually move all this stuff to the side. So I'm gonna try to move it to the side like I had it. And I unhooked this hose as well. This hose was hooked to, where is it at? Hell, here it is. It's hard to get on camera. Can we get on camera? Okay. Right here is where I unhooked one of the hoses. This hose right here, this big long one. Alright, so I unhooked that one and unhooked the hoses that's going here. Let's see, where's my finger? Here, here, and here. And that's this little strange little locking mechanisms. You squeeze and you can pull that off. But anyway, let me just see if I can get this out the way here. And it is just a real pain to get to this thing. It's just no easy way to do it. Okay. Can you even see it? All right. All right. Now, unfortunately, my socket got stuck to the bolt, and I've tried everything, and I can't get it out. And I don't really want to heat it up. It's going to be hard to get some heat in there. You know, I hate to say it, but I'm going to leave it. I just can't get it off. But as you can see, now we have a straight path to that bolt, and it's probably about 20 inches down. Now what I used, I used a couple of extensions to, and I had one of those little deals that let you, you know, use a socket from an angle. I forget what you call them. But basically, it allowed me to go straight down, even though the socket was at an angle, as you can kind of see. And I was able to take off that bolt and then put it back in place. And I mean, that's how you do it. And once you commit to undoing all this crap, it really didn't take that long. Maybe 15, 20 minutes to get to this point. And now you have access to your bolt. Hard part is going to be, it's not that hard either, but you're going to have to hook it all back up, replace the fluid, and burp the system. But as far as I know, that is the only way. Oh, yeah. Now, even when you take that off, this bracket, and it's hard to see on camera, this bracket right here is still in the way. And it's made out of some pretty thin metal, and I just bent it up. I just bent it up out the way, because otherwise I'd have to take out another 2 or 3 bolts that's really hard to get in there and even get to them. So I just bent it up, and that's just the bracket that holds this. So I bent that up to mess with this bolt, and then I'm going to bend it back down, and I'm going to put the CCV back in place. And that's how you get to it. All right, real quick, I want to show you a little bit about these particular end links. And these end links, they're pretty. You see different types, and basically you can get almost like basically a universal one that will probably fit on these cars. But I did get the vehicle specific, and like I said, it's made by Moog. Now the original ones had some nylon threaded bolt nuts on it, and it you know, for obvious reasons, so it wouldn't slide off. These don't. These are just regular nuts. So I am going to use some blue Loctite on it, and then that way, you know, over all the bumps and stuff, it shouldn't come off. Now, some end links has basically, it's like a bolt right here, but it's basically built a part of the shaft, and you can hold that bolt, and then that way you can tighten this nut on. These are different, where you basically need to hold this part so the shaft, and you're holding the shaft so the shaft doesn't move, so then you can tighten this up. I got one of these open socket wrenches. My plan is to go on like that, and then I have a 7mm socket, and hold the shaft with this socket, and then use this socket to tighten up the bolt. Tighten up the nut. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I might have to do something else once we get down there. I might not have as much room as I'm hoping I'm gonna have. So we're gonna see. Alright, now these things basically pivot all around, so it kind of looks like, man, how's that gonna work? But it'll be fine. Go ahead and put in this bottom one first. I'm not gonna tighten it down all the way. I'm just gonna get it in place. This wheel out of the way a little bit. Alright. The whole plan I had, what I was going to do didn't necessarily work. But I've got one of these, and it does fit. So you probably can't see. Let me see if I can put this in frame. Okay. So basically I'm to the point where when I turn it, the whole shaft is turning. Hopefully you can see that. So now what I have to do is hold the shaft to get this any tighter. Alright, so now I can finish tightening this thing. Okay, now I've got the bolts nice and tight. I've got the thread lock on there, and we're good to go on this side. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and we'll be essentially done with this job. Of course, I got the coolant system to hook back up and replace some coolant and burp it, but other than that, we're coming right along. Okay. Man, I'd like to just say I've got so much respect for guys who make car videos, because it is a real challenge to get the camera and everything right. But I feel like, you know, this is what I'm doing to kind of repay the community that helped me so much, and, you know, saved me lots of money. And you know, now right now I'm removing the other side of the control arm linkage that broke off, and this just helps showing this whole how exactly you remove these nuts. Like I said, you have to hold the shaft and then remove the nut at the same time. Oh. and the driver's side. All right, now I can basically hold this with my finger, and can I remove it? Yeah. All right, got it out of there. Like I said, that was the part that broke off and probably causing some noise. I don't think it just completely broke when I turned it. I think it was already broken, but it just completely came all the way off when I messed with it. All right, so that's that. And you see, again with the same setup, socket, using this socketing wrench as well. And basically I'm gonna tighten these down, and I've got this one installed as well. And basically the suspension work is done at this point. All I got to do is get the coolant system back together.